So I am coming at you all with, I've already done my hair, I took a shower, all that. I also had some lunch, but I kind of want to make another coffee, so we might be doing that too. And I also need to make my bed, and I need to put some real clothes on because I can't stand sitting around all day in my pajamas. I just can't do it. I can't. I'm so sorry. I know that a lot of people do that and it's fine, but for me personally, cannot do it. Can't do it. I don't know if I'm gonna do my makeup today. Maybe I'll put on some mascara or something, I don't know. But yeah, look at how long my hair is getting already. My mom cut it recently and I feel like it was like about an inch shorter. I mean, it wasn't recent, I think it was in like November. But I feel like my hair grows so fast. But I was just saying, like, does anybody get really annoyed when they cannot decide what they want to wear for the day? That used to send me into like a huge anxiety spiral, like a huge meltdown, just crying, emotional, everything like that. I feel like I've gotten better as I've gotten older, but it still gives me so much anxiety trying to figure out what I'm going to wear every day. I don't know why. I try to make my wardrobe as like accessible as possible, at least for me, where I'm like, I can put together basically anything in my closet and it can be an outfit. And I specifically try to shop for clothing that is going to fit within my wardrobe, so just to make it so much easier on myself. And yet I still get anxious about it. I don't know why. I can't explain it. And that also used to happen with my hair too. I used to get so upset with my hair and frustrated, and I wouldn't be able to like function for the rest of the day. But now, ever since I've gotten that like blow dry brush thing and getting to like have my hair straight nearly every day, literally so much better. I don't have to like freak out every day about what I'm going to do with my hair. It looks the same every day. So I'm going to try to go on Pinterest and look through some of the outfits that I have saved, and hopefully something will inspire something in me. And then I think really the only things I have to do today are, I really want to vacuum, and that's about it. Like, everything else is pretty much done. We just gotta vacuum. And of course we have to do the dishes as well, but like that is a given every day. So yeah, I'm going to go on Pinterest. I'm going to check out an outfit that I might want to wear, and I will update you all once I've done that. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I didn't get rid of the sweater. I bought this sweater probably back in 2019, and I've worn it maybe once or twice. I was like, let's find something that I haven't worn yet, or like recently. And I was like, oh yeah, I have that one sweater that I literally never wear. One of the reasons I don't wear it is because it is a v-neck, and I don't typically like v-neck sweaters, so I don't really know why I bought this one. But I do love the look of a layered v-neck sweater with a t-shirt underneath, so I put a little tank top on underneath, and we're just gonna have it looking like this. I think it's really cute. It's very comfy and cozy. It's not a super thick sweater. It is a bit thinner, but I mean, I live in California, so it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, here's the outfit for today. I think we are gonna do my makeup because I look a little just not totally done without the makeup. Okay, so we have to open up my advent calendar today. I almost forgot. We have to do number 9. So that one is up here. Ooh, what's this one gonna be? Give me a second. Okay, so this one ended up being a candle, obviously. It's a weird shape, but I do have to do a voiceover because the audio was really, really bad. I will admit that time got away from me today. That's all I'm gonna say. My mom ended up coming home early today, and then we ended up going to Ross, and we went to go get a Starbucks, and then I just kind of decided to sit outside with my family and watch TV and watch sports TV basically, and there just wasn't really much else to film, honestly. I did read my section of Devotions by Mary Oliver, and I think I'm about to go to bed and finish up The Bear and the Nightingale. I'm so excited. It's such a good book, and I will definitely update you all tomorrow morning, but I will definitely try to keep you all updated. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to say for today. Okay, so because I feel like I didn't get very many clips for yesterday, I'm going to talk about the book that I finished last night, because I feel like that still counts. And that was The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I finished that last night and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It's one of those fantasy books though that I feel like could have absolutely been a standalone and like could have just ended there, or like ended in a way that like wrapped things up even more. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what the sequel is gonna be like, because I don't know if it really needed a sequel. I don't know, maybe the people who have read the book can comment on this video and be like, no, it totally does need a sequel. And I will totally believe you, because I'm going to read the sequel. But I don't know, like, this book seems so complete to me, or at least like it could have been so complete. I don't know why she gave it a sequel, but I mean, I guess we're gonna find out once I start reading the sequel. But I really liked this book. I thought it was so well done. It was so beautiful and whimsical, but also a little spooky. It had like its spooky, scary moments. I think what I loved most about this book is that even though it didn't have a romance, even though there wasn't really like a ship or any romantic stuff going on really, it still had that kind of like romantic feeling to it, if that makes sense. And I think that was mostly present in the way that it was written. It just had a lot of emotion within the prose, and I feel like, you know, this book could have been totally dry. It had a lot of opportunities to go that like very dry, very matter-of-fact route, but it really went very metaphorical, very beautiful. The prose was absolutely gorgeous, like not necessarily lyrical in a way, but it just had that essence of romanticism in it, and I love that. I also really loved the main character. I thought that she was absolutely fantastic, and it kind of reminded me in a way of like a lot of the female main characters that I love and that I tend to gravitate towards. Gave me a lot of vibes of like And I Darken by Kirsten White, which I love. Also gave me vibes of the main character from The Young Elites, which for some reason I cannot remember her name right now. I don't know why it's escaping me, because I love her as a character. I think she's fantastic, and maybe it's because I haven't read the series in a while. Adelina Amoteru, I can't remember how to pronounce her last name, but Adelina from The Young Elites. Like, I love those kind of main characters where they are just very intense, very much themselves in a way that is not socially acceptable. Kind of like an unlikable female character. And I feel like Vasilisa also kind of has that sort of unlikable quality to her that makes her so likable to me. But I also loved the inclusion of like Russian folklore and stuff like that, the way that she was able to weave together all of these different bits of folklore and make them cohesive and make them make sense together. And I loved the juxtaposition between the folklore aspects, the more like pagan aspects, and also the Christianity that was really present throughout this story. I thought that juxtaposition was so well done, and I don't want to like spoil anything. It's really hard to talk about this book without spoiling it, and like talking about the things that I loved without spoiling it. But I think it does such a good job at like having that conversation about like why the sort of like pagan religions and cultures are so important, and how Christianity sometimes can misappropriate a lot of pagan traditions or pagan beliefs and use that against the people that believe in them, and use them to turn them against their original beliefs. and just kind of like poison that well a little bit. And I love to see that within like a more fantasy setting. I think that that is so fascinating, especially because I'm Indigenous, and also, you know, the history of Catholicism in relation to Indigenous populations, especially in California. I love like learning about that kind of stuff and hearing more about it and seeing it portrayed in like a fantastical, whimsical setting, while also calling it out and being like, this is not a good thing. Because I did recently see a tweet where it's like, were those pagan traditions like misappropriated, or were they just welcomed in once like the pagan people like converted? And I'm like, okay, well that's like a way more nuanced conversation than just like, were these traditions welcomed or were they misappropriated? I don't know if I can put the tweet up because I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I was just basically like, it's way more nuanced than just, you know, that kind of simple question. And they're kind of like, well, and I think like what they were trying to get at was that like Christianity isn't all that bad because it wasn't always like taken by force or whatever, or like misappropriated. And I'm like, okay, like there's a lot of examples of where it was. And I know they were talking mostly about Christmas and whatever, but like first we have to ask ourselves, were they converted by their own free will, or were they converted by force? Usually, more often than not, it was by force, and it still is today, or by coercion, which is no better than force. And then you have to ask yourselves, who are we categorizing as pagan? Like, what do we and why do we categorize them as pagan compared to Christian beliefs or other kinds of beliefs? And there are like so many questions that you have to ask in order to figure out whether, you know, certain aspects of like pagan culture were taken or just like welcomed into the Christian culture. It's not a very simple question to ask. I felt like the question itself was kind of reductionist, of like, and a little bit revisionist as well. I mean, let's be real here. I understand that like not all Christians are evil, or not all Christianity is evil, but like we also have to reckon with the actual history of Christianity and of the Christian church, the Catholic Church, all of that jazz. So, you know, it's a more complicated conversation, and I think that The Bear and the Nightingale did a really good job at having that conversation. While it wasn't like perfect, it wasn't like completely, you know, the best conversation ever. I think, you know, Catherine Arden did her due diligence and did a good job, so I highly appreciated it. I of course love the setting of the book. You know, I love these kind of books that are set sort of in like Eastern Europe, Russia, etc. Love those kind of books. They're some of my favorites. And I highly recommend this one. I think, you know, like I said, it has so many good conversations, so many interesting things to say. And I think that a lot of people would really, really enjoy it. I checked the weather app this morning and it says that it's supposed to rain literally for like 5 days this week. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I think that that's kind of interesting. And as you know, California basically just exists in a drought, and so it's going to be kind of nice to have some rain and some and some nice like wet weather, because we don't get that very often, I will say. But I do live in like Central California, so I feel like we get a bit more weather than Southern California. So I'm hoping that maybe some of the rain will go down towards like LA and San Diego. I don't know if it'll happen. We'll see. My makeup looks so good. It might just be the camera. It might just be the camera, but my makeup looks so good today. I don't know what I did differently. I didn't do anything differently, but I do think that this sponge is actually doing like most of the work, honestly. It's making my makeup look so good. I was watching somebody else's Vlogmas, or maybe I was watching TikTok. I can't remember. But I saw that somebody has a heated eyelash curler. And I'm like, that is such a good idea. I really want one of those. I think that that would really work for my eyelashes. Let me have that. Also, one of my press-ons popped off, so I gotta reapply that. I had a dream. I've been having these dreams where like all of my anxieties come true, which is not fun. But I had a dream last night where one of my press-on nails popped off and somebody was like so outraged, like so disgusted, and like, what is that? Like, that is so gross. Like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, I just use press-on nails because like my nails are really short and like I bite my nails a lot, whatever, blah blah blah. And they were like disgusted. They're like, ugh. And I was like, no one would say that in real life. I mean, I hope no one would say that in real life. But I also had another one recently where I was like, oh, it was about the bus. And I was having this like anxiety dream where I was trying to get on the bus at my city college. And usually, like, if you go to city college, they give you like a free bus pass, basically. You just use your ID card. And I didn't have my ID card, so I had to use like coins. And the bus driver was like making this huge deal about the fact that I was having to use coins and not using my ID card, and was like basically being like, do you actually go here or whatever, like quizzing me and like berating me and harassing me. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And it was so weird. And I'm like, I hate when I have those dreams where like all of my biggest fears come true. All of my greatest anxieties over nothing come true. And I'm like, that would never happen in real life, but it happened in my dreams. So now I'm gonna just be thinking about it forever, right? I get those every once in a while. I feel like when I'm really stressed or like things aren't really going the way that I'm planning them, and you know, whatever, things are out of my control, I start to have those like really weird, crazy dreams about everything that I have anxiety over. All of the little things too. It's never any of like the big stuff. It's like always like the tiniest little nothing things that I'm like, no one would ever actually get mad at you for any of those things unless they're like really mean people. And at that point you don't have to really listen to them because they're just mean. But in my head, I'm the villain. I really relate to the song Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift, if you did not realize that. So does my mom. Me and my mom, like, our favorite song is like Anti-Hero. At least together, our favorite song is Anti-Hero. We just highly relate to that song. But yeah, my makeup is done. Here it is. I look so cute. I really like this makeup. I think it actually looks really nice. It's a little much, maybe. I think the blush always makes it a little much, doesn't it? But yeah, so that was my review of this lovely, lovely book. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was fan-freaking-tastic. I highly recommend. I kind of regret not having picked up this book sooner, and I would have loved it. I mean, this is my problem, is that I buy books, I own books, I have them on my shelves, and then I'm too scared to read them. I'm too nervous that I'm either going to love it and never want to stop reading it, or I'm going to hate them so much and I'm going to regret ever buying them. I know. It doesn't make sense. Nothing I do makes sense. I'm sorry. My brain is just not normal. But I love this book. I highly recommend it. If it has been sitting on your shelf collecting dust, pick it up immediately. Right now is the best time to read it because it is set so much in winter. So do it. Immediately do it. This kind of gives me Anne of Green Gables vibes, right? Like fantasy Anne of Green Gables. I don't know. You know, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, love this book, highly recommend it. Did my makeup, I think it looks pretty good. And that is the end of Vlogmas. I know that I did a little bit of like an outro yesterday, but now is the real outro. Now it's for real. So I will see you all in tomorrow's Vlogmas. I will technically be starting it literally right now. So I will see you in like, for me it's like 0.2 seconds, for you it's a day.